You're listening to the Youth Critic Podcast on KHZ Network. Find us on Facebook at DecibelUNG Radio and find us on Twitter at DecibelUNG. If you like this episode, please leave a like and comment on our iTunes page at KHZ Network. And now for the podcast.
Charlie. Hot Shots Part Deux.
Mr. President, the third mission to rescue the hostages has failed.
Really?
Cookie?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Youth Critic Retrospectives. I am your host, Cale Smith. Joining me on today is Justin Mayhew.
Hello, everybody. We're huddled here over the fire. Nice and toasty.
Nice. And today we are going to be discussing Hot Shots Part Deux. But before we get into that, let me explain what the retrospectives are going to be for this summer. So last summer we did the summer of '82, where we talked about a huge list of movies like Conan, Mad Max, E.T., Tron. We talked a lot about some of the classics of '82.
A lot of '80s movies came out in '82, huh?
Yeah, some of the best ones.
Yeah.
And so for this one, I looked at the summer of '83, and I just wasn't that impressed. I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, we have Return of the Jedi.
Right.
We had Superman 3. We had War Games. We had some really interesting stuff. Jaws 3D.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we could have talked about the Jaws. We could have done a Jaws retrospective. And it comes at you in the third dimension.
Wow, that was. Well, we'll save that conversation for later.
We will. We'll do a Jaws retrospective someday, and we'll talk about all four of those movies. And so I kind of looked ahead, and I didn't really. I mean, Die Hard we'll talk about eventually because that came out 30 years ago. And there were some other things like the Roger Rabbit in '88. And then 98 wasn't really that interesting, although Brandon Cooley really wants to do something for small soldiers, so we'll probably do that soon. So I kind of just came to, there's a Jurassic Park movie coming out in June, and it's technically the 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park, so we should probably do some Jurassic Park retrospectives. And then I kind of looked at 93, and I was like, I haven't seen Hot Shots Part Deux in a while. I haven't seen Super Mario Brothers at all. I've definitely not seen Cliffhanger. And I've definitely not seen The Firm. And I was just looking at the list, and I was like, okay, we might, could do something here. Because, and also I like the 90s. We could switch it up a bit. So for the purposes of this episode, or for this summer of retrospectives, we're going to be covering the summer of 1993, starting with Hot Shots Part Deux.
Part Deux. You said something interesting there. Mario Brothers, and you haven't seen that yet?
I have not seen Super Mario Brothers yet.
That would be an interesting one to go off because it's an interesting movie, but it's also a train wreck at the same time. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people talk about it over the years, and I will see it. We're recording this Thursday, the 31st. I'll see it tomorrow because I literally have to go to a video rental store to find that movie because
it's not on Amazon or anything.
No,
like that,
it's not. It's not on any of the streaming services.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna have to go and find it at Videodrome.
Well, I do say there is something online for you on YouTube. There is the video game historian does a half an hour documentary about the making of Mario Brothers. If you're interested in that,
I'll definitely look into that because I'm trying to learn more about the production. And we'll get into Super Mario Brothers in that episode, but it's interesting how that production unfolded, and we just saw how Solo turned out, and they both had similar production issues. But with that said, let's get into Hot Shots Part Deux. There really isn't much of a production history for either movie. All I can say as far as production history goes for sure is that it all went very well. Both movies, Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part Deux, both cost around $26 million to make, and they were both directed by Jim Abrams and co-written by Pat Proft, who is the Zucker Abrams' favorite co-writer. Everything went very smoothly in terms of productions.
With Charlie Sheen on the set.
Yeah, interesting. Well, this was pre Two and a Half Men and all that.
I know. But, he's gotten such a reputation now that's what his first association is, But,
extremely young Charlie Sheen.
Yes, he was 25, 30 at the time, something like that.
He was around that. Like, he was in his late 20s.
Yeah. Roughly 30-ish. But... yeah, and then this is right in the wheelhouse of the Zucker Abrams, the airplane movies, the Naked Gun, the Police Squad,
Top Secret.
Top Secret. Now that was an interesting movie. I would like to do a retrospective on that. Val Kilmer, another tough guy to work with.
Yeah, they know how to wrangle. They know how to wrangle these tough actors. Because even Charlie Sheen has worked with David Zucker on multiple movies, so.
It's and I'll tell you, it's one of my favorites. It's hard to pick an absolute favorite film, but Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part Deux are at least top 50.
In comedies.
In everything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in top 50 films of all time. I mean, I've watched the films who knows how many times, and you can't really say that they're technically well-made movies. It's just a very point and shoot, simple setup, simple sets, simple lighting, simple photography. It's not, it's not like a Kubrick or a Orson Welles kind of Edgar Wright kind of a setup. Yeah, the cinematography and the production value on an Edgar Wright film, they stand as really well-made films in their own right, aside from being great comedies. But that aside, I love them, and the jokes. I mean, bam, bam, bam. They keep hitting you over the head with these jokes, and it's great. Like one person said to me, they have a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks kind of style.
They do, and that style, I'll admit, it rarely works. Like it rarely comes to anything interesting, but for whatever reason, it works for the most part. It works for Abrams and Zucker a lot. Yep. And I love the Naked Gun movies, but that's the thing about the Zucker Abrams brand is they started with Kentucky Fried Theater and then eventually Kentucky Fried Movie, where it was just a skit, just throw everything out.
That's not the same as Airplane and Top Secret and Hot Shots. That's a little bit of a different kind of a film there. It's more Lampoon, I would say, like more akin to our early National Lampoon than what we're traditionally thinking of as Abrams Zucker kind of style. You know what I mean? But
and they started with that, and Kentucky Fried Movie is okay. Like it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up as well, I would say.
No, it doesn't. And it's fine. And then Airplane, I really loved. I rewatched that a year or two ago, and I thought that was just absolutely funny. The whole bit with the nurse, or not the nurse, the stewardess on the plane,
flight attendants, man.
Yeah, she's singing a song on the guitar, and everyone's just like happy, and then she accidentally hits the IV out with the girl, and it's just like, or and even some of like the not so politically correct jokes, like the jive
talk.
Jive
Then
talk.
there's the everybody standing in line to slap the woman who's panicking. And of course, there's always, and don't you call me Shirley.
Yeah,
of course.
It's just funny and it's a engaging plot, and
this is their breakthrough. This is the thing that kind of solidified their style and them as a filmmaking powerhouse, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a really funny movie. That's all it is. It's just a really fun, exciting adventure. That's what I dislike, and that's why I like it so much. I enjoyed Airplane, and it's got a good plot. It's got a good characters. It's over dramatic as the love story is.
Sure.
It still is. You buy it.
I have a drinking problem. Splash! Right into the eye.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you've ever seen Airport or Airport 77,
right.
Those things is where they take basically this and the basic plot is taken directly from Airport or Airport 77, and they just twist it all to give it the purple nurple, if you will.
Yeah, and and then Top Secret, which I don't like as much. I mean, there's some great stuff in it, but it's like there's a whole bit where they're like, it's like this love story, kind of similar. There's a similar bit in Hot Shots Part Deux, where the love interest and the male protagonist, they're like talking about how contrived and how all coincidental that they're both in the same place at the same time,
sure.
And then they reference, well, it's just like we're in a shitty movie, and then they break the fourth wall,
yeah.
And that's kind of like what I was thinking. Like, this is a shitty movie, but they break out in song a lot.
Yes,
which kind of was.
And I wonder who did the singing for Val Kilmer in that one, but it's interesting little video segues, and how East Germany. In that film is still Nazis. They're not Russians. They're actually based on Nazis in that film. All the German bad guys are dressed like Nazis and such. So interesting kind of a juxtaposition, And then we go to Hot Shots.
Well, I mean, before that was
okay.
Well, sorry, but before that they did The Police Squad, which got canceled,
and then the movies,
and then David Zucker directed, and that was kind of the beginning of like the split between the boys. Unfortunately, I mean, there is one other movie they did, but I don't remember it that well, and I don't think a lot of people do as well. But there is one other movie they did together, and it stars Bette Midler, Danny DeVito, and Supergirl Helen Slater, and Judge Reinhold. But to move on, and they did David Zucker has done The Naked Gun, and afterwards, Jerry Zucker went on to do Ghost, which
was
took
different.
and took everybody by storm and became a cultural phenomenon. And then Jim Abrams did his own little Naked Gun type franchise, but with Hot Shots, which was a satire of Top Gun.
And quite effective too. I mean, I will tell you, I've seen Top Gun.
It's a silly movie.
Yes, and I remember Hot Shots. That's the movie I remember. I just prefer Hot Shots over Top Gun.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just the thing about Top Gun is, and it's been a while since I've seen it, so it's just super serious. It's super vague about Val Kilmer is kind of a bully, but he's kind of vague.
And it's this hot shot, this kind of competition thing. The sort of almost subjugated bromance kind of a thing they've got. That kind of very common in these movies. The Guardian, was it Kevin Costner and Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, there's this almost a homoerotic thing going on in these films that I find interesting, but there's nothing really else to them besides that.
Justin, there's a song called "Playing on the Beach with Boys."
Right.
And it's full of shirtless men jumping slow motion, playing volleyball.
Right.
How is that? That's not homoerotic at all.
Not at all. No. Please disregard all prior messages.
But yeah, I mean, and they satirize that. I mean, and I don't. And Carrie Elwes is like, by look, the perfect person, but I still find him like a block of wood.
Really? I mean, what about Princess Bride? I mean, Princess Bride, he was great as...
He got turned into a block of wood halfway through the movie.
Well,
I mean,
he's been mostly dead all day, so...
Good point.
But the chocolate just never took, man.
Dang it. Dang chocolate.
Well, I mean, one thing I loved is their back and forth where they're both trying to make it with Ramada. I can't remember the actress's name. Italian actress.
Yeah. I'll look it up, but go ahead.
Carrie always has the chafing dish, and Charlie Sheen goes, "Is that the thing that cooks all day?" "No, that's a crock pot." And those kind of little details like that just stick in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, and even the ending where he goes up and gets Ramada, and he's like trying to break up with her, but she's totally like, yeah, sure, fun. And he's just like, you go, be brave.
Yes.
It's those moments that make it feel great. It makes it great. Because you can just feel it. You can feel that everyone wanted, the actress who plays her is Valeria Golano.
Yeah, Valeria Golano, yes. And boy, she was an attractive young lady, I will have to say.
She was. Yes. She was very attractive. And so was Charlie Sheen. Like, this was
nice looking people. I mean, it's Hollywood for God's sake, right? So.
Yeah. So we have to talk about Lloyd Bridges.
Oh goodness, yes.
As Admiral Thompson Tuck Benson.
Can't they just circle around for my hat? No, we can't. This is a gigantic ship. Well, why don't we just throw Tucker overboard and let him swim around it a while to get it? Well, what do we do about food? God darn it, man. Do I have to think of everything? Just put some food in the boat with him.
He literally is the funniest part.
Yes, he is the... God bless us, and I really hate that, I miss that man terribly. What a boudoir culture he was.
He was, and he was. I mean, he was great in Airplane, and he was just perfect in both of these movies. Because Tuck Benson, and I think even funnier in the next one.
Yes.
Because it's just so outrageous, and so like the more he adds on about like what he went through in World War II and Vietnam, you're just like. Like, oh my God. You're just laughing because you just feel... You're just laughing because you're kind of uncomfortable.
Right. Like in Hot Shots Part Deux, where Saddam Hussein hits him over the head with the fire poker, and then it just bends around his head. He goes, aluminum siding. I'll never have to be painted again.
It's great. But my thing about Hot Shots is, and the reason why I like it more, or like it less than Hot Shots Part Deux, is that I don't know, I just didn't find it the jokes as funny. Maybe, I don't know, I just didn't find it as funny. There's some great bits. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some great bits, but I don't know, I just found it even more contrived, and even like Charlie Sheen is like stilted. Like, it feels like he was purposely stilted to be in this movie.
You think he was more comfortable, feeling a little more laid back in the second with the jokes and things, you think?
I think he was. I think he had more to do in the second movie. Or
Well,
he was
that's true.
given more freedom.
Well, I think there was actually even, if this is possible, a higher, joke count, per second in the second one,
Right.
I mean, and then you've got Charlie Sheen and Valeria Golino's back, and I don't think did Carrie Elwes come back for the second one? I don't.
No,
think
he did not.
Yeah, Ryan Stiles is in it. Miguel Ferrer. War. It's fantastic.
Yep. And
Mr. Bean.
yeah, Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan Atkinson. So why don't you leave? They've tied my shoelaces together. A knot. Those bastards.
And Hot Shots is a fun movie. It's just I love the second one more. And so with that, what do you love about the second movie?
Oh Lord. I think it's just the gonzo-ness of it, that the overall, just as we say, there's this a mile a minute, kind of a throw a joke against the wall, and the fourth wall breaking, and the meta, and they're unabashedly just shooting it in like Malibu,
Right.
and claiming it's Saudi Arabia or Iraq or something,
Yeah.
and it just obviously the seaside park, near Highway 1 in California, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a satire. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to. It's not a real.
There's no verisimilitude, people.
Yeah, it's what it is, and they did a really good job.
And they're having loads of fun doing it.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of like this one a lot more, is because they're just like, we'll just go for it. We'll hit the wall.
And they do this is crazy stuff, like Saddam Hussein becomes the T-1000, and melts.
He melts.
T-1000.
And
then becomes a dog man.
yeah, he comes melded with the Chihuahua.
No, it's like a Pomeranian or something. It's a little hairy, furry fellow.
Oh, okay.
And he's got like bells and ribbons on.
It's just really good jokes, and I mean they throw in a lot. They throw